Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be reviewing the T-80UK, a currently Tier 7, 10.7 BR main battle tank that exists as a squadron vehicle for the Russian Ground Forces tech tree. In this video, I'll be going over everything that you need to know about it, including its stats, how it plays, its strengths and weaknesses. I'll give some scores in several key areas, and then I'll give my final recommendation on if I feel that this vehicle is worth either grinding for or purchasing, or none of the above. As always, please subscribe if you like more content like this, as that would make you a comrade. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, as always, I'll place its stats here on the side of the screen. Important stats to know are its armor, speed, and reload rate. Now for how the T-80UK plays. In short, it's basically the same as any other MBT, except that it's slightly faster and arguably better armored. The speed on the T-80UK is one of the big selling points, as it can effectively move between hot spots with ease, destroying enemies easily as it goes. In this regard, the T-80UK is an excellent flanker and brawler, and its good ERA armor combined with its great power to weight ratio and reload speed gives the T-80UK the ability to go behind enemy lines and destroy enemies in rapid succession. Its 6.5 second reload speed, while not absolutely amazing, is guaranteed, regardless of if a crew member dies and regardless of your crew skill, as the UK has an autoloader. Even still, for a cannon of this size and power, 6.5 seconds is still among the best of similar tanks with fully aced out crews, though it doesn't have the best APF SDS shell in game, being that the 3BM46 is only capable of shooting through 532mm of armor at max, while the similar BR M1A1HC can go through 598mm of armor with its M829A1 shell. The T-80UK should still be capable of destroying most tanks in-game with a single shot, granted that you have smart shot placement. This is also helped by the excellent post-pen damage of its shell. Regrettably, the T-80UK only has access to the 3BM42 APF SDS shell until you're at the end of the modification line of the UK, meaning that you may suffer for a bit before you unlock the much better 3BM46, of which is again so-so at its BR in terms of armor pen. Aside from this, however, the UK has access to excellent programmable HE ammunition and ATGMs, both of which are useful in destroying enemy aircraft. In summation, the T-80UK in my experience is best used as a flanker and brawler, as it has the armor, reload rate, and mobility to disrupt the enemy team from behind or to the side of their lines. Now with that said, let's get into its strengths and weaknesses, and for its strengths, the T-80UK features a very good cannon with fairly decent armor pen with the top level 3BM46 shell. It also of course has a laser rangefinder. Second, it has a fantastic power to weight ratio of over 27 horsepower per ton, allowing the T-80UK to be extremely mobile. For its third strength, it features an autoloader with a 6.5 second reload, which is better than average for a cannon of this size. It also means that the loss of a crew member will not slow your reload rate. For its fourth strength, it has an HMG on top, which will come in handy when tagging targets, destroying lightly armored vehicles, and hitting aircraft. Fifth, it has a laser warning system. For its sixth strength, it features the Stora 1 APF, which, while useful in some situations, is very much situational and typically limited to defending against older, less powerful ATGMs. For its seventh strength, the T-80UK has very good armor all around the tank, especially in the front and on the turret, with tons of very useful Contact 5 ERA, which will defeat most Heat FS, lesser ATGMs, and some APF SDS. Further, the T-80UK features a large amount of good composite armor in the glacis of the hull and the front and sides of the turret. Now for its eighth strength, it has excellent gunner optics with up to 12 times zoom and thermals, although of course they are Gen 1 thermals, which isn't very impressive. And for its final strength, the T-80UK has excellent smoke grenades, of which you actually have 4 more than the T-80U that this is based on, and you also have use of EFS. Now for its weaknesses, first, it has a relatively slow turret traverse rate of between 16.8 and 24 degrees per second, depending on crew skill and of course your modifications. Now second, it only has 3 crew members, which decreases survivability in the event of an armor pen. For its third weakness, while it is still fairly good, the top level 3BM46 APF SDS shell is both a final modification tier unlock and is a bit mediocre compared to the similar BR NATO equivalents in the DM53 M3 and M829A1 APF SDS shells found in the Leopard 2A5 and M1A1HC respectively. For its fourth weakness, it has a port cannon depression of only 5 degrees. And finally, while it has a commander sight, it is only equipped with night vision. Now with that said, let's get into how I score this vehicle. First, for armament, I give it an 8 out of 10. While it isn't a magic wand that can shoot through any part of the tank at will, the 125mm 2A46M1 cannon on the T-80UK is very powerful, especially when paired with the top-level 3BM46 APF SDS shell. This, when combined with its excellent autoloader, will provide you with the ability to brawl fairly well, as well as to snipe with quick follow-up shots. Further, the range of ammo types, including Heat FS, an ATGM, and even a programmable HE shell, will allow for you to take on numerous types of enemies with confidence and ease, from standard MBTs to light tanks to helicopters and more. The T-80UK, even more than the T-80U that it is based on, is an everything killer. I almost wanted to give it a 7.5 out of 10 for this category, just simply because its top-level APF SDS isn't quite to snuff with the other similar BR top-level APF SDS shells in its category. However, it is still a very versatile tank with many ammo types and still has that excellent autoloader. And now for mobility, I give the T-80UK an 8 out of 10. It features an excellent power to weight ratio due to its relatively lightweight and powerful turbine engine. Between all of these traits, the T-80UK can easily reach 40 km per hour and will do so much quicker than most vehicles, including even some light tanks. It can even reach its top speed of 70 km per hour with an ease that most MBTs would be jealous of. It even does well off-road. Overall, the T-80UK is a fantastic tank when it comes to maneuverability and general mobility. Now third, for its survivability, I give this vehicle a 6 out of 10. The armor on the T-80UK is excellent, and while it will be chipped away as people hit it due to the fact that it largely relies on ERA for a substantial amount of its protection, it can take a ton of hits that many other tanks would simply not be able to stand. Against Heat FS and ATGMs, the T-80UK shines, as ERA is best against those types of ammunition, but it also has composite armor underneath for even more protection. And on top of that, the UK features the Stora 1 active protective system, which will jam some types of ATGMs. Further, it has an additional 4 smoke grenades over the T-80U that it was based on. Even better still is that this is a relatively small tank and it only has a 78% visibility rating per the War Thunder stat card. The biggest downside to this tank's survival is the fact that it only has 3 crew members and they are in fairly tight quarters. This means that a successful armor pen will likely kill your entire crew. But more than in most tanks, even at this BR, a successful pen is a big if against the T-80UK. Now finally, overall, I give this vehicle a 7.5 out of 10. The T-80UK is essentially a small improvement over the T-80U, but without a BR increase, at least for now. It has a combined thermal mod, whereas in the U variant, you need to unlock night vision and then thermals. It also has a laser warning system, Stora 1, and an occasionally useful programmable HE shell. In all, it is a well-balanced tank, though it certainly favors the mobility-minded player, but can still take a surprisingly amount of hits before cracking and can also deal a ton of damage as well. Now with all of that said, do I recommend the T-80UK? I can say that the T-80UK is a fantastic vehicle. It can destroy numerous enemies quickly and with ease, all while being protected from incoming fire. It does everything that you can ask of it and then some. My only reservation with this vehicle is simply that it is a squadron vehicle, and as such has no premium silver line and RP bonuses, meaning that purchasing it with GE yields no benefit to you insofar as grinding the tech tree is concerned. So for me, I would personally just grind for this vehicle, at very least until the GE cost got down to only a few thousand GE, as its GE cost reduces every time that you put squadron vehicle research points into it. But if there is any squadron vehicle out there that I feel is worth purchasing with cold hard golden eagles, it's probably going to be the T-80UK, as it is fantastic and is a very powerful vehicle for anyone playing it. The only caveat to this is that I strongly recommend that you have a lineup around the UK T-80UK before purchasing it, as the T-80UK is not enough to hold down a match by itself, so you need at least 1 or 2 similar BR vehicles before getting this vehicle to truly have successful matches. Either way, I recommend grinding for this vehicle simply again because it does not have premium bonuses, but I will still give the T-80UK my Tankenstein seal of approval. Of the 3 top tier squadron tanks in game right now, I will say that the T-80UK is likely the best of them, sitting ahead of the Leopard 2PL and M1A1 AIM, both of which are great vehicles in their own right. Now with all that said, thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below, as well as what you think of the T-80UK. Please also consider liking and subscribing if you like this sort of content, because it helps out so very much. But either way, thanks again, and I will see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.